So tell me, what are we going to talk about today?
Today on Keepin the Geek Bros, episode 89, we've got Star Wars Battlefront 2 Celebration Edition, full-size Commodore 64 revival, new PS5 and DualShock 5 video concept release, what Diablo IV will feature. You will have to wait to play Final Fantasy VII Remake on something else other than a PS4. The Mandalorian on Disney Plus is the top TV show in the world. Toys R Us is reopening for business again. But there's a bizarre catch. Rise of Skywalker to introduce first lesbian AT-AT, or AT-AT. Weird teaser image from Disney Plus's WandaVision. Ghostbusters Afterlife trailer review. Being a warrior, the lifestyle and the assumption. John Boyega feels a bit iffy looking back on The Last Jedi. For inebriated fitness, the pros and cons of the keto cycling. And the Mandalorian episode 5 review. All this and more on this week's episode of Keepin the Geek Bros, a family podcast, allegedly. Stay tuned.
Geeking out never looked so good. Two incredibly sexy men will rise for your auditory pleasure. Here's your hosts, Keeping Up with the Geek Bros.
Yes. Good moral. You guys. This is why you guys will watch the video recap, because these guys, they mess with me when I'm trying to read my script. Yes. I'm your host Vibe, and with me are my fellow Geek Bros,
Doris Flizzex,
and Garbanzo.
Is that a baby Yoda?
No, it's not. Fuck
no, it's just a teeny Yoda, not a baby Yoda, a teeny Yoda. There's a difference.
I like
I've had this for the last 3 years. Whereas
so you guys have that forced premonition of that about Baby Yoda's future.
You can premonition his dick in your mouth.
Oh no, that's right. Before we get to today's topics, Darflex, tells these fine individuals how to find us on social media.
Sorry.
Absolutely, you beautiful people could check us out on Instagram and Twitter at Geek Bros with a 0. That's GEEKBR0S. And also, you can email us at geekbros with a 0 at yahoo.com. We've gotten some emails. Unfortunately, it's not what I've asked for, but it's okay. It's okay. Something's better than nothing, but you know.
That is true. Beggars cannot be choosers here on the Geek Bros podcast.
Give Daddy a little something. But I digress. And then if you want to check out some cool articles, cool news, fake news, funny memes. God, I love memes. I swear to God, memes have prevented my suicide since 2015. But check us out on Facebook.com/GeekBros with a 0. And the first place to find these beautiful
First place.
WeBeGeeksPC.com. Shout out to Mike.
And WeBeGeeks.
My boy Mike.
And Wookie Radio.
Wookie Radio. You know, in the Marine Corps, Wookie is a derogatory term for female Marines.
Is it?
Yeah, because they're normally fat, hairy lesbians, yeah.
That is not true, because there's no way. How are they going to be fat? If you're going to be Marines, you have to be physically fit. You don't? You have to be physically fit. I mean,
okay. First of all, physically fit is not being hot. I mean, look at Roy Nelson. No, hold on. Look at Butterbean. He's fit probably than all four of us, and he's like 400 pounds. All right, but and then if you want to check out this beautiful Christmas concoction of holiday milk chocolate, café con leche on the little nativity. And I guess in Egypt we don't celebrate Christmas, but Egyptian cinnamon. Check it out on youtube.com/FireWebStudios. That's VIBEREVSTUDIOS.
We are moving on to comments and questions from you, the audience. Garbanzo.
Wait, question. For the holiday season, can I just be like a nice creamy eggnog?
I guess, yeah. Like a yeah.
Or crema de vie. Or coquito.
Yeah.
I'm not Puerto Rican.
Coquito is literally eggnog, but the Puerto Ricans, because they're American, took an American thing and made it Puerto Rican, which is still American. So it's eggnog.
We here at the Bros Podcast do not condone cocaine in any way, shape, or form.
No, what? Not cocaine.
We're moving on.
What?
We're moving on to comments and questions for you.
I'm not that Cuban, bro. Come on.
No, well, allegedly. All right, so from our Facebook, that's facebook.com/geekbros with a 0. We posted the official Ghostbusters Afterlife, and of course our homie Eric Owens, who's taken over from Squeezy Bitches as most comments. He goes, "No Bill Murray cameo in the trailer. They're dropping the ball." So, and it's funny he said that because I listened to a couple of reviews, and a lot of people actually appreciated that they didn't do the whole, Chewie, we're home kind of thing in this trailer. They left out. They gave just enough of the nostalgia, but they didn't blow their wad by showing any of the original cast. We're gonna get into it.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that later.
We're gonna circle back around with that. But I was just replying to Eric. So Eric, I don't know how you feel about that. If you take it from that perspective, but let us know. Moving on to Twitter comments, we posted another special poll. It says, "What is love?" # flat earth, # penis, # shit happens, # Star Wars, # father, # offspring, hashtag affection, # self-love, # masturbation. All right, let's be clear here. Darflex is in charge of our polls. Darflex, when you write these things, we understand the question, but I don't understand the hashtags. Explain to me your inspiration for random hashtags that almost make no sense when it comes to the question being asked.
So this actually worked. So I had a previous Instagram account called Darth Flex with 1X, which got deleted for bullying. But I would use random hashtags. For example, when I was competing and stuff, I would flex and I would put like Biclops bisexual, right? But bisexual.
Right.
And just by putting bisexual, so many like LGBT people saw it. I got like 100 followers in like a minute. So one, I use the hashtags to be funny because
of course
they make my point. Like I mean, they're to the point in a comedic way. But also, the good thing about Twitter is Twitter has no censors, right? You can literally watch a dude eat a girl's asshole on Twitter.
Okay. I did not know that.
Yeah. Dude, come on.
No, I know Tumblr used to do that. I didn't know that.
I tagged Mia Khalifa on one of our Twitter posts. Okay, so
did you really?
If anybody, because people look at porn on Twitter, people look at stuff on Twitter. They might search hashtags, and for some reason they might put maybe penis, BBC. They might put, I don't know, white dicks or something, whatever.
Okay.
So this is just the off chance that I'm reaching a variety of Twitter members, Twitter account holders.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
If you actually read the hashtags, I'm sure a lot of people look at them and it makes them laugh.
I crack up all the time.
That's our number one goal, entertainment, right? And then the second one is outreach.
That makes sense. You make sense because when they hit these things, they'll see a poll. They're more likely to just read it real quick and respond. You're right. I get it now. I get it. See, believe it or not, there's a method to Darflex madness. So with that being said,
I think a couple months ago I hashtagged shit happens and we got like 6 reposts from retweets from somebody that I would never have guessed would have been a listener, which I don't think they are. They just reposted it because they reposted it. Right,
because they said, "Oh, you're right." So with that being said, the poll was "What is love?" and the choices were 0% for children, 0% for romance, 67% said "Baby, don't hurt me," and 33% said "Knowing Earth is round." So thanks a lot for commenting. For voting. We put up polls very randomly, so you've got to follow Geek Bros with a 0. You never know. And if you're following us on the Instagram, I will usually do a screenshot of it to let you guys know, hey, there's another poll up whenever I notice it. Because when I say Darflex is very random about it, he's very random about it. I have to actually check daily to see if he actually put one up because he doesn't tell me anything. All right.
And then I find out about it like after the fact. I'm like, oh man, I didn't get a chance to vote against Jason.
Right.
I mean, you guys have 7 days. Like everything I post has a 7-day window.
It's true, 7-day window. So that's why we check it. So emails, believe it or not, we got another email from the guys over there at Suspicious Productions. Ed sent us issue 5 of Invasion for WrestleTopia. We did forward it already to the gentleman. We Geek Bros will review it probably. I wanted to say next week, but we've got Rise of Skywalker coming up, so maybe if we're doing one the week of Christmas, we might do it the week. If not, you'll have to wait till after the new year. But we will see. But we are proud to say that they sent us episode 5, issue 5, and we're ready to check it out and see what the story is going on. So check with that. So that's it for comments and questions from you, the audience. Gents, anything to report? I think I remember that right. Did I remember that right? Yep, that is the next thing.
Yeah, you got it right.
So I started breaking up my backyard. I went and rented a demolition hammer, and I just been. So I thought the concrete in my backyard was like maybe 4 inches. That shit's like 8 inches, dog. Who the hell puts 8 inches of concrete in the backyard? Like, what are you gonna put on there? A tank? It's bullshit.
I think they wanted just to make sure, they may have to get it up to standard for hurricane and stuff like that, possibly.
If a hurricane can pick up 30 pounds from the floor, like when the floor flat, I'd be super impressed. That's like picking up a quarter with no fingernails. Come on, man.
No, I think it's more just for things impacting it.
What's going to impact it? A fucking aircraft carrier? I mean, look, okay. You see, it's more than this. Okay. This length of just solid concrete. That is a lot of fucking concrete.
That's what she said.
Maybe it's a doomsday bunker, or maybe it's something hidden underneath it.
First of all, you can't do that in Florida because you would flood immediately. We're below sea level. But
not if you freeze the ground first.
Well, I guess, but then
with the cold stuff that they kill the termite with.
It's as hot as the devil's asshole here almost every day, other than the past couple of weeks. I doubt that would work either.
That is true.
But so yeah, I've been doing that, and I've been looking into real estate wholesaling, just to help my income and maybe quit my job and just do that, so I can
sounds good.
Relax and focus that I want to do.
All right, Garbanzo.
Yep.
All right, sorry. No, Garbanzo. Not
Garbanzo. Busy week last week with Art Basel in South Florida. It was a little crazy working at South Beach, but it was fun. I got to see some really cool art. I got to cheer. I don't know if everybody heard that there's a guy that actually bought a banana that was duct taped to a wall for $150,000, and then the next day someone came up and did performance art and walked up and took the banana off the wall and ate it.
Yeah, I did see that. That was funny. So, and then after that, someone wrote on that same wall the banana was taped on there in red paint. Epstein didn't kill himself.
Yes, they did. They did. And the thing is, the guy that ate the banana did not get in trouble, but the guy that wrote that did get in trouble. There's a conspiracy right there. See? Vibe right for you. It's right up your alley.
I will absolutely, for our next Halloween special, I'll talk about it. Right up my ass, too. You're right. Anything else to report?
I got one more thing.
Okay.
I saw Claws on Netflix. It is probably the most subtle, emotional, and creative way to tell kids Santa Claus is not real.
Really?
I highly recommend this movie. It's a cartoon. It's good to watch with your kids. But like pretty much all the way until the end, it's like, oh, Santa Claus is not fucking real. So, but I mean, it's good.
On what service is it on?
Netflix. Claus with a K.
This is what happens to Dark.
Oh, actually, it's not Claus. It's Klaus.
Mandalorian.
Klaus.
But the cast is really good, and the animation's almost Tim Burton-y, sort of. It's good. It's not claymation, but it's good.
Tim Burton right here.
But yeah, again, the cast is great. The story's nice, and it's a feel good story. But if you look closely, it's just saying Santa Claus isn't fucking real. Grow the fuck up.
I know that's right. All right, for me, basically the move continues. I am slowly but surely breaking this place down and shifting it over to my new location. Yes, I've officially decided that there will be an interruption in studio service. We will probably not have an episode the week of Christmas or the week of New Year's, as I will be officially breaking it down. As I have to break it down, I have to build it back up. And I'm still not sure exactly how and where I'm placing the studio in my new location. And because of that, I can't rebuild the studio. Thus, can't do it. So this week, next week, and then maybe a 2-week hiatus for the holidays, but we will be back. So, but it'll be colorful, it'll be bigger, and it should be nicer. So, look forward to that. That's about it. Thank you.
Woo-hoo.
No dead air.
Yeah. I was waiting for you to finish properly. I was going to give you a cheers for the new location, and then just say, what's going on with the Geek Bros. Oh, we already did that already.
What's going on with the Geek Bros?
We just go ahead.
Well, I mean that's pretty much. Besides studio work, the Geek Bros are, we're here. We're having a good time. We did the video recap for episode 88 is out. That was out 3 days ago. I'm currently editing the unboxing episode 11 with me and Darflex, where I actually addressed him wearing eyeliner from back in our Halloween special. So that's actually really funny. And he's giving away one of his masterpieces. All I can say is it's a tiny figurine, and there's tiny dicks drawn on it. So you should look forward to that, and then actually sit and it's funny. And actually, this man he got a tickle from it when he saw. He's like, "Did I open this?" And he's like, and he looks at it, he just starts cracking up. He's like, "I did not expect this." So that was a really funny moment. But that's actually being given away. So you should watch that episode, and then you should request it, because that is a original Darflex creation, and that was before woodworking. So I'm saying check that out. And that's about awesome. It, really. We've got Gamer Comic Expo that is being edited currently too. I'm trying to edit a lot of things prior to the official breakdown, because I'll be even further behind than that. And of course, after this fantastic podcast, we're going to be doing our routine, our traditional, I should say, countdown to the next Star Wars movie. It's countdown to Rise of Skywalker. It'll be a 5 to 6 part special, 5-minute episodes each. If you guys remember how we do it, it's real quick. Unfortunately, we can't meet, due to, of course, the moving, but we will be doing remotely via Skype, so you're still going to get it, and we're going to release every episode.
Yeah, you are.
One by one, exactly, until the release. And then we're going to go review, screen the movie together as a team, and come back and record right afterwards. So look forward to that next week. It's really, really exciting, because this may be the last countdown that we do. We will see. So with that being said, let's get started. If this is your first time listening to our podcast, then please take a moment to subscribe and leave a review on your favorite podcasting app. If you're watching us, then don't forget to subscribe, comment, and share. YouTube has recently changed its algorithm to favor corporate channels, so independent productions like ours aren't being recommended. They're reducing our views, limiting our exposure to new audience. So without further ado, episode 89 starts now. Let's get ready for the fresh scent.
Fresh scent.
What's new in the gaming world? Video games out this week, brought to you by Darflex. Can't hear you, Darflex.
Wait, we have video games out this week already?
Don't we? What do you mean already?
I feel like I missed something. I don't know why. Was this always the first segment?
It was. Do you not listen to our own podcast? It's always the first segment. Because I do enough talking in the beginning that I take a break. It's video games, the Battle for Azeroth. Yeah. Do you have it, or do you want to skip it?
No, I have it right here. I just wasn't that ready for that, honestly. But let me scroll down to it. By the way, the Last Jedi has been pretty. I mean, not the Last Jedi.
I agree. The Last Jedi has been pretty sucky.
Jedi pretty good so far. Yeah. Okay. All right. Holy shit! We're coming up to the end.
Flex, what's going on with your connection, man? I think you're timing in and out. Is it just me? Are you getting the same thing, Garbanzo?
Sorry, I was actually reading something real quick.
It's not that much, actually. What?
No, I was wondering if Garbanzo was getting the same interruption, because you're kind of phasing in and out. That's all.
I'm getting a little bit from both of you, but overall, it's not. I mean, audio wise, I can hear you guys clearly.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
We can.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have December 9th. We're going to start with Ashen for the PS4 and Nintendo Switch. December 10th, we have MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries for the PC.
I like MechWarrior.
We have Avicii Invector for the PC and Xbox One. We have 80s, Steam Early Access for the PC. Call of Juarez, Gunslinger for the Nintendo Switch. We have Black Sad, Under the Skin, PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. We have Hearthstone Descent of Dragons. Ooh, I'm excited for that one. For the PC and mobile. December 11th, we have Transport Fever 2 for the PC. December 12th, we have Jamestown Plus for the PC, Nintendo Switch. Okay, so now this is weird. So we have December releases with no date, and this is actually for all of.
Wow, you're breaking up. Say it again. No, you said December releases with no date.
I'm just going to cover those because it's not that many. Yeah, it's December releases with no date.
Okay.
So we have PC, PS4 for the PC, PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch. Ancestors.
You completely
Xbox
froze,
One.
bro.
Phoenix Point for the PC, Xbox One. Good Night Night for the Steam Early Access. We have Shovel Knight Kings of Cards for the PC, PS4, and Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. We have Shovel Knight Showdown for the PC, PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch. We have Lost Words Beyond the Page for the PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. And then we have Tools Up for the PC, PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch. And that is.
Did you say that is it?
Do you guys get any of that?
I got about a third of it, dude.
I got most of it. I don't know if it's so. Is it me? Is it just because I thought maybe it was our connection? I don't know. Jiggle your connection around there, Flex. You're timing out, or your audio is struggling more than usual. I don't know. Do you hear us?
Hello?
Flex? All right, Flex is frozen out. Oh no, there's not. There he is.
Am I frozen? No? Good.
No, I mean I don't know. I'm confused. I don't know what's happening. Garbanzo, can you hear? Are you doing well?
I'm doing okay. I can hear most of it, but not all of it. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, I mean of just me, of me or Flex?
It says poor connection now.
Does it?
It's just Flex. You're actually fine now.
Well, let's try this. We're gonna move on to the Battle for Azeroth continues with Dark Flex and see if it still times out. Go for it, Flex. Do the best you can.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
Queen. Yes.
So right now for December. Wait, what the hell? I see your mouth moving, Jason. Vibe. What's going on?
Oh no, I'm not talking. I'm reading and I'm kind of mouthing the words I'm reading. I'm not saying a word.
Oh.
Yeah, don't mess him up, bro.
See, we're all throwing each
kind
other
of
stuff
mess with
now.
me. So right now we have more dungeons available for the end of the year over at the Time Walkers. Again, the Time Walkers is for the 15th year anniversary. You get an invitation to go to the Caverns of Time, and you get to relive past dungeons at a Time Walker difficulty. Again, these are just harder difficulty dungeons. You're traveling through time, doing older dungeons as if they were current, and you still have the opportunity to have Deathwing as a mount. So look out for that. Again, really, I don't know if you. So when you're playing World of Warcraft, on your HUD, all the way in the right-hand corner, if that's where you have it, you have your map and whatnot. You also have a calendar widget you can click, and it gives you all the events. And you'll see that they're going to have something similar to Life Day that Star Wars has. Which, if you still play the Old Republic, that is still absolutely the case. Life Day, they celebrate Christmas or whatever religion you have on the 25th online. So you have the opportunity to take in festivities for the World of Warcraft, which I think it's Jewel for them. That's what they call it. I could be wrong.
I'm not sure.
Or Winter Jewel, some shit like that. But look out for that. You also have the opportunity to take place in the Dark Moon Fair, which has extra activities because it is the holiday season. So right now, I think it's probably one of the happier moments of World of Warcraft or in Azeroth, because you're not currently trying to kill each other. You're not currently really doing anything until probably the new expansion comes out or maybe a new patch comes out. But right now, you got to focus on festivities. Go out. You can buy alcohol for cheap, get your character drunk and throw up on people, and ride vehicles drunk, and play festival games, and I guess virtually seduce female characters who are probably fat dudes, and have a good old time. Right now, again, yeah. I mean, it's the season to not kill, which I mean, it's fucking stupid because there's no PvP anyways.
I was gonna say it's always a season to not kill. So what are you talking about?
So, but if you play classic, you can definitely still kill. You can definitely still kill in classic. So look after that. Obviously, most of the festivities and all the cool events are happening in the World of Warcraft Live version, not the classic. But you have the opportunity to play both. I highly recommend doing the little games. They're silly, they're silly, but you get to talk to cool people. You can get to get little toys, like little balloons you can carry and flowers you can throw off. And I mean, if you're really into role playing, you can definitely immerse yourself into the character and feel the spirit of the holidays. So I do recommend that. Other than that, there's really nothing as far as story is going. It's just the holiday. Enjoy it because your characters are people too. They matter.
Amen. I like that. All right, we're going to move on to Star Wars Battlefront 2 Celebration Edition. Now, this launches on December 5th. Learn everything about the new Star Wars Battlefront 2 Celebration Edition and thrilling Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker content. So, Flex, you wanted to talk about this, so just bring it up real quick. Whatever. Oh, is that clones? I see clones in the pictures. Look at that.
There's always been clones. But, okay, so I've had the deluxe edition of this game since it came out. Now they have the Celebration Edition, which if you have the deluxe edition, don't worry. You are still able to get all the DLCs for free. I don't know if you guys know this, but all the DLCs for Battlefront are free. Though if you do buy the Celebration Edition, you just get everything all in one, like as one download. And it's actually significantly cheaper than what I paid. It's only $40. But so it includes the base game, which is the campaign and the multiplayer stuff. It has it's more than 25 hero appearances. And then this includes new appearances, right? So by appearances, I mean like the look of your character. You can be Han Solo from the original trilogy or Han Solo from Solo. Lando Calrissian from the OT or Lando Calrissian from Solo, which is actually pretty cool playing as
Donald Glover.
Yeah, as Donald Glover on Battlefront 2. But so this is going to include 6 legendary appearances plus 1 appearance for each Rey, Finn, and Kylo Ren inspired by Star Wars: The Rise of the Skywalker. More than 125 trooper and reinforcement appearances, which are pretty cool. My favorite is the Scout Troopers or the Woodlands Fatigues. More than 100 hero and trooper emotes and voices. I never paid attention to that, but I mean, if you use the D-pad, you can do emotes or popular quotes from the movies. And then you get your 70 hero and trooper victory poses. I lose so much in that game that I honestly don't even know what they are anymore. No, I'm kidding. I do very well in that game still. That's why I never needed Luke because he's not a fucking pussy. All right. Let's. So it's going to have Rise of Skywalker content, which I think this is pretty interesting. In the first Battlefront, in the first Battlefront, we had Jakku, right? We had the Battle of Jakku as a map, multiplayer map. In Battlefront 2, we have Jakku, but only in the campaign mode. So you can only play it during the story. You can't actually play it.
That was a fun level, by the way.
Yeah. And again, one of the levels that they're missing in this one is Takodana, which in the Battlefront 1 you can play it, and this one you cannot play it. But they're bringing co-op. They're bringing these planets to co-op in December. It's going to be sequel era locations like Takodana, Jakku, and Starkiller Base. Starkiller Base is pretty interesting. And then we're going to have new reinforcements. So we're going to have, for example, you're going to have the Sith Trooper, with pretty much the First Order Trooper with the red armor. Is going to be an infiltrator. So similar how they did recently with the Clone Commandos, it's what you're doing with the First Order Troopers. Okay, you're going to have new aerial reinforcements. So the new overhaul First Order Jet Trooper can fly and dodge. So again, it's the Jet Trooper but for the First Order, and it's going to be gangster. You have a new gunner and spy that will be taking up arms for the Resistance. So their counterparts. You have a gunner and a spy, which again, infiltrator, and then something similar to probably a specialist.
Okay.
You got your hero appearances, which obviously you won't know what they are because they're appearances from The Rise of Skywalker for Rey, Finn, and Kylo Ren. And then let's see. For Capital, have you guys played Capital Supremacy?
No.
I think I played once.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So it's where you take the fight from the ground to the capital ship.
Yeah.
But in January, says in January we're excited to bring Capital Supremacy to the sequel era. This means 2 new capital ships to defend or bring down: the MC-85 of the Resistance and the resurgent class Star Destroyer for the First Order. Okay, the massive vessel will take station in some of the above high agency ground battles taking place on the new jungle planet from Star Wars Rise of Skywalker and Jakku. This planet's name is still undisclosed as far as the game is, but we know Jakku is going to be part of it. And then, let's see. Oh, this is going to be very interesting. For the first time, you're going to be able to play as a droid in the game. They're going to add a support character, which I don't know how that's going to work. I guess he heals or fixes stuff, but BB-8 is going to join the Resistance as a new hero character.
Huh.
Oh wow, really?
Yes, and then for the First Order, you have BB-9E, which is the black
one,
and they play support roles, which I'm still very interested to see how that's going to work out, because I'm assuming they can't do anything like as far as combat too much. I mean, they can probably shock people.
Yeah, maybe they can stun and maybe they can.
I can't see them blowing stuff up or shooting.
I mean, maybe they're a kamikaze. They'll go and self destruct around something.
But yeah, that's going to be the new update. It's going to be only multiplayer updates. Which I honestly, one thing I got to say about this game is they left me wanting for more when they ended the campaign during the sequel era. I wish they would, even though the books pick up.
Yeah, I'm saying the story picks up in the Resistance Reborn.
I really wish I would play a continuation of that story, just because I think the campaign in this game is actually pretty solid. I don't know if you're into Battlefield games, like the games Battlefield. You ever play Battlefield?
No, sir.
It's the same thing, but in space. It's a Star Wars story, but it's a Battlefield gameplay, and I think it's pretty solid as far as like any Call of Duty Battlefield style campaign shooter. I just wish they would pick up where they left off, at least for this DLC, because I mean, this is the Skywalker saga, and this revolves around the Skywalker saga. So,
I agree.
I'm actually, I'm really kind of, I'm curious to see what they would do with it. You know what I'm saying? So.
Now they put all the chips right now in Fallen Order, so I doubt that's gonna happen. But who knows? Who knows?
Pretty cool to see maybe in the Rise Skywalker movie, see Grease, the Duros. But I don't know. We'll see.
They might coalesce everything. For all you know. I mean, it's like JJ said. He said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna do what I want." So maybe he's throwing everything to the wall. You never know. All right, so we're gonna.
Now that we know that Count Kestis is Supreme Leader Snoke, so whatever.
Oh Jesus!
All right, we're moving on to
I'm done
Commodore 64 revival. This article comes from Polygon.com. The Commodore 64 got a throwback mini-sized tribute last year. Now the workhorse of the 1980s PC gaming is getting a full-size model, which means it has a working keyboard and functioning keys. So they're just for looks on the smaller version that launched last year. Other features and enhancements on the full-size THEC 64, as the new unit is called, includes an audio scaling to keep the sound playing as close as possible as the original as it did when the THEC 64's programming are running in a different refresh rate than expected. The full-size C64 will display all the PC videos outputs in the full height 720p image on whatever monitor the player is using. The full-size C64 has been available for pre-order in Europe via Indiegogo and will be shipping there soon. No word yet on when the version comes to North America. The mini C64 launched in the US and Canada last October and currently available on Amazon for $32 for those who are interested in such games. So, I mean, I don't know anything about this thing at all. So, I mean, I just saw the thing. I was like, oh, retro. Everybody loves retro. Any of you know anything about the C64, the Commodore?
I personally have never actually played the Commodore 64. The oldest system I've ever seen was the old Atari. The 64, I think it was a 6400.
Right.
And the Commodore was before that. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm looking at the website for the Indiegogo, and the images don't. I mean, they look like a great, like a good 64-bit game. Like, it looks cool, but at the same time,
oh god,
no.
No, I'm sorry. I just clicked over to the PS5 images. I'm just like, oh god, I don't know if I like this. With that being said, we're gonna move on to new PS5 and DualShock 5 video concept release. This article comes from T3.com. And gents, are you looking at this thing?
Yep, it looks fucking pretty cool. To be honest.
Really? I don't know if I like the way this thing looks. I'm playing the video right now. No, I like there's a screen in the controller. That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
But the way the PlayStation console looks, I'm not digging it. It looks weird.
It looks, well, I think they're maximizing space and then creating a nice little airflow on the sides.
Is that airflow or those speakers?
Why would it have speakers?
I have no idea, because if you have a screen on your controller, maybe it would play music. Maybe this is their response to the Switch.
If this is their response to the Switch, they need to quit.
Okay, this could be the response to the Switch. Like you'll play off your controller, and those are the speakers on the side. I don't think you need 12 for airflow. I don't know. I'm not sure. On the sides,
maybe they just want to make sure they doesn't overheat. That's all. And it's going to be USB-C instead of the. Okay. I mean,
I don't know. No, dude, that doesn't look like that. Looks like it looks like speakers. They don't look like airflow. I'm looking at them. I don't know. So last week, the reappearance of the PS5 development kit broke headlines with its weird gray car battery aesthetic and its distinctive V shape. I told you, it looks weird. It looks very unusual and exactly as predicted according to all the leaks we've seen so far. But although the dev kit contains the innards of the console, it's not necessarily how the PS5 will look under this Christmas. And thank God. I don't think that's what it's going to look. With speculation rife, so as the eventual look of the PS5, Digital Rendering Concepts created a 3D design that looks like the next gen PlayStation, as well as the controller. So if you go to this website, t3.com, and you look up this thing, you actually get a little 2-minute video with circles around it. All I can say is that I absolutely love the display screen on the controller. I think that's awesome, where the touch thing used to be or whatever. What do you guys think of the concept art and the concept video?
Does the console have cameras? 2 cameras in the front?
I don't know.
That's what it looks like, right?
It's Big Brother.
Or is that audio auxiliary ports?
No, they have like a little glass in front.
Oh, those are cameras. You're right. I'm looking at them as 2 cameras. I don't know why you need 2 cameras though, but.
Well, I mean, I guess one for up close and one for zooming in on your junk when you're just playing naked. I don't know.
3D to predict you into 3D.
3D is
listen, I don't know. Maybe it may be of IR sensors, infrared sensors. If you're for the VR, it could be a lot of different things that in referencing to that. It may be they may, instead of going Bluetooth, they may be going infrared for the controllers, which means that it can be like in the other room being blocked by concrete and it'll still go through.
Infrared is stronger than Bluetooth?
Well, let's put it this way.
I like infrared. Is it infrared for what you get from your remote controllers? Those things suck.
Wait, no, maybe it's not. No, maybe it's not infrared. I know that there's a actual bandwidth that they use, and it's not Bluetooth. That they would actually when because a friend of mine actually had to buy a special remote and a special adjuster to his old cable box because he had put it behind the wall. So he would have, because the TV everything was behind the wall, so all you saw was a TV. It was a really cool setup, but it kind of sucked if the cable guy had to come over.
All right. Flex, what do you think about the design and the stuff and the other things?
I'm so sorry. And I'm not gonna not to be beating a dead horse, but I honestly
Yes.
I'm not impressed. I mean, it looks cool. I'm sure it's gonna be great, but I don't see myself buying it.
Understood. Darflex?
Is it coming out this Christmas?
That's
No. It is?
Oh.
This Christmas as in like 2 weeks?
Supposed to be.
What?
Oh my god. No, it can't be coming out this.
Are you sure? Or maybe it is for next. Maybe it's for 2020. No, I think it's 2020. I'm sorry.
There's no way. There's no way. No, actually, you're right. Which some pundits are predicting could be as early as next month. So, but next month is next year. So
they're looking at possible release date, November 20th, 2020.
There you go. That sounds much more like it. There's no way they just drop it like that without preparing us or something like that. Flex.
Honestly, I mean, it could look better. I really don't care what it looks like as long as it performs, you know. But the remote does look pretty tight, I gotta say.
Yeah, it looks cool.
I mean, like, what the fuck? Like, it's not a work of art. It's just a fucking console. Like the Xbox in the fucking box.
Well, yeah, but I mean, stick with the box design. Don't try and make it look all. I don't know. Car battery, fancy, smooth edges.
Bro.
It looks like a. Well, what are you gonna say, bro? What?
Hey, bro, all I can say is this: that it's like that episode of South Park that like he goes into the future, and then all of a sudden it's like everything. It goes from like being a big thing to like a little ball with like little special glasses that kind of go into your eyes.
That's perfect. That's all I want.
What's gonna happen?
That's all I ask for in life, okay? That's all I ask for. All right, we're going to move on to what Diablo IV will feature. This article comes from PlayStationLifestyle.net. Diablo IV will feature a massive connected open world and interesting new approaches to PvP. So, you might want to play this, Flex. Blizzard co-founder Alan Adham has said that the developer is currently prototyping interesting new approach to player versus player in the upcoming Diablo IV, and that the game will feature a seamless shared world unlike anything the series has seen before. Speaking to Edge magazine, Adham teased that Blizzard is in the process of finalizing PvP features and that players will understand the implications of this big social connected open world as they play Diablo IV. So this sounds like this is the PvP of your dreams, Darflex. Are you interested? Have you ever played any Diablo games?
Just the first one, but I don't know. I'd have to play the next two games to see what I think. But I just want PvP in World of Warcraft, man. I want to bully people.
I understand, but if Blizzard is giving you PvP elsewhere, maybe you should try that. Maybe
What if Blizzard's the girl of your dreams and then some other ugly bitch is trying to give you some pussy and you don't want that?
Understood. Garbanzo, any interest in the massive connected open world, interesting new approach to PvP in Diablo 4? Have you played any of the Diablo games?
I've actually played Diablo 3. It's a game my sister bought. Sister Bean got it for me because she enjoys playing it and she wanted to be something that she can play with me when she comes over to visit and hang out.
Understood. I mean, it's great when brothers and sisters play with each other.
Jesus.
That's my favorite genre.
Yeah, I got it. But I will say that I'm looking forward to it. It looks like a beautiful game. So,
I've never played Diablo again. Like I said in the last episode, 2 episodes ago, is that I had a really close friend. He was an Asian guy, and all he ever did was play Diablo from sun up to sundown. And I would, after school, go there, hang out, and just watch him play that game forever. So that's as much as Diablo that I know. So will I play the game? No. Will I want to sit down and watch somebody play it? Sure, why not? Darflex has to tinkle everybody, so he's gonna go step off real quick. He's messaging us, so I'm throwing it under the bus right on camera. All right, we're gonna move on to you may have to wait to play Final Fantasy VII Remake on something other than a PS4 until 2021.
Okay, my question to you is this though: are you surprised?
No, because when you think Final Fantasy, you think PlayStation. Especially after 7 and after. Of course, I didn't realize that Final Fantasy used to be a Nintendo thing until they I think they had a split with Nintendo because Nintendo wanted to stay with cartridges and they wanted to move to CDs. So this article comes from Destructoid.com. Where did I get this from? It says, want to play Final Fantasy VII Remake on something other than the PS4? Just wait till 2021. Earlier this year, Xbox Germany decided to give console owners some hope by announcing that Final Fantasy VII Remake would be released on Xbox One. Square Enix quickly issued a statement saying it had no plans for other platforms. Clearly, those plans have changed. As seen on the official Square Enix store, the box art for Final Fantasy VII Remake now supports Play First on PS4 tag next to it, time exclusive until March 3rd, 2021. So this is exactly a shock. Beyond the Xbox Germany announcement, Square Enix has been pretty reliable of late in spreading the Final Fantasy love to the Xbox brand. So earlier this year, the publisher released several classic games in the series on the Xbox One, as well as the Nintendo Switch. And as of right now, it's unclear what other platforms the Final Fantasy VII Remake, but they're guessing Xbox and PC, and maybe Stadia, which is a wild card. So,
you really think that maybe you think that they're not going to put it on Switch though? I mean, honestly, I think it's going to be on Switch.
Oh yeah. It would live long and hard on Switch. I'm pretty sure. But
I would definitely get it.
You're a Hotbox guy, so you're a Hotbox guy. So how do you feel about having to wait longer? I mean, we already waited this long to begin with, but you're waiting even longer now. So you're gonna see all the gameplay footage. You're gonna see all the reviews. You're gonna see all the walkthroughs before you can even put your hands on it. How do you feel about it?
I'm okay. It's really not that big of a deal. Don't get me wrong.
This is Final Fantasy VII Remake. What are you talking about, dog?
It's still not going to make me buy a whole other console that I don't want nor need. I'm going to wait, or I'm going to go over to somebody else's house and check it out there.
That is perfect. That's a perfect example. All right, I should say answer. All right, we're gonna move on to inebriated fitness because Darflex has returned from tinkling. Darflex is an exercise physiologist with a BS in exercise and sports science. He is a certified CSCS strength conditioning coach, a CISSN sports nutritionist, sports injury specialist, and currently an MMA weight cut specialist and nutritionist. The pros and cons of keto cycling. Now, this is a article that I found from NBCnews.com that I just wanted to throw out there to Flex. This is his thing. So give us some pros and cons about keto cycling. Well, what is keto cycling?
It's tough because they're calling it cycling. I think they shouldn't just say ketogenic diet, because keto cycling, you have the impression that you're going to cycle on and off of this, which you can. But
that's what I thought it was going to do.
It's very inconvenient to do so, because it takes exactly a minimum of 21 days to put your body in ketosis.
Okay.
So imagine cycling. If you get into ketosis, you're gonna have to do the ketogenic diet for 3 months at the very least to see any results, and then you're gonna get off of that and then get back on it. I guess it works if you have plans for vacation or something, right? But so the ketogenic diet is a high fat, moderate protein, low carb diet. Okay. Many people think you can eat whatever meat you want, is not a large amount of proteins, but the thing is, our bodies does create carbohydrates out of protein in excess through a process called gluconeogenesis, which is just neo means
I love that anime. It was a great anime. Neon Genesis, yeah.
But so the ketogenic diet, typically your carbohydrate intake is about 5-10% of your caloric intake. 60s and above is going to be fat, and then the rest is protein. So what's 5% of carbohydrates of your daily calorie intake? That's probably somewhere between 20 and 30 grams of carbohydrates. In this article, they have it a little bit higher, looking at the 60s and stuff like that. That's more for so if you're an athlete, and that's called the modified ketogenic diet, because your body has those demands. And a majority of the people that are reading this article are not fucking athletes. So don't fucking kid yourself thinking that you're going to put that much carbohydrates in your body and still be in ketosis. Okay? I mean, if you watch MSNBC, you're probably a housewife or just some dude fucking sitting on the couch. Seriously. I mean, come on. People who work out don't have time to sit down and watch fucking MSNBC. Okay? Unless it's New Year's. So the benefits of the ketogenic diet, or keto cycling, as this registered dietitian puts it, is that so ketones are a byproduct of breaking down fat. When we break down fat or lipids, there's a byproduct called ketones. The brain loves ketones, by the way. So, but with that being said, is since you're limited carbohydrates, your body has to break down fats. You break down fats from the fats you eat, but also your body is a pretty good storage of fat. So your body starts catabolizing in a good way, because normally catabolism is bad because you eat that muscle, but that's if you're doing it the wrong way. But this will start eating away.
Did you wait? You're not saying anything. We lost you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, carry.
Where did I leave off? That was weird. I didn't even touch the computer.
It like the last half sentence.
Yes. Okay. So the ketogenic diet, what it is, the byproducts of fat is ketones, and the brain loves ketones. So the biggest fuel source of fat is ourselves. Obviously, we're going to create ketones from the fat we consume, but then we have a lot of fat stores, especially for us four right here. Three of us. Pretty good storage. So the body starts taking away from that fat to create more energy. Okay. Again, it takes 21 days though to get into ketosis. That means 21 days for your body to realize it needs to use fat as a fuel source rather than carbohydrates. And it is a very good source of energy. You're going to see a lot of decrease in free fatty mass in your body, and not necessarily an increase in lean body mass, because that's just the amount of protein and how much you work out. But another good thing that some studies are showing is that they're using the ketogenic diet to treat some metabolic diseases. Okay. And surprisingly is that depending on who you ask, cancer is seen as a metabolic disease. Okay.
Really?
So, like free radicals what's like the cancer cells, some of them, not all of them, are primarily fueled for carbohydrates. Now, if you remove that substrate from the body, what does those cells have to eat? Because the cells have to grow. Regardless of what cell you are, you have to get some kind of energy to grow. So if you don't have that fuel source for the cell to grow, what happens? It either doesn't grow or dies off. Now, this isn't something that's been proven. Actually, no study is proving it. To be proven, it has to work for everybody. But this is something that's showing some data, maybe not significant data to say this is for sure, but it looks promising that, for some cancers, you could look at it as a metabolic disease, the ketogenic diet being that you're removing pretty much almost all carbohydrates as a substrate from the body, starves those cancerous cells, and may either kill them off or stop them from spreading, which is a positive. Again, I'm not an oncologist, but I do know enough about physiology that does seem plausible, right? So that's another benefit of the ketogenic diet. It could be used to treat certain metabolic diseases like cancer. Obviously, it's going to have pretty good effects on certain diabetes, not all of them. Obviously, if you have low blood sugar, you're gonna need sugar in your body. But for sure, like the diabetes that you have onset, not the one you're born with, that's obviously it's gonna help you a lot. And people think that eating fat is a bad thing, but that's probably just a myth, allegedly, that was made from the sugar company. Because animal fat's not bad for you, saturated fat's not good, but trans fats are bad for you. That's the fake stuff. But saturated fat. Coconut saturated fat, that's not bad for you. I mean, obviously, anything in abundance is bad for you, and everything has its own classifications of abundance or excess. Bacon's not bad for you, man. It might give you pimples.
Bacon, yes. Bacon gives you pimples?
Well, just like for me, like when I eat a lot of pork, I break out. But my heart's pretty healthy. But the common foods in ketogenic diets are things like bacon, fatty meats, and avocados. Avocados is the backbone of the ketogenic diet, especially if you're vegan. So now let's get to the downsides of the ketogenic diet. One, it is an extremely strict diet. It takes 21 days just to be in ketosis. Okay. So just because you survive those 25 days doesn't mean it's gonna, you're gonna lose weight. You have to ride it out after that and actually put your time in. Like I said, a minimum of 3 months is where you're gonna start seeing like pretty good results. Okay. Within those 21 days reaching ketosis, most people get really bad migraines and headaches. due to the lack of carbohydrates. So a good way to overcome that is MCT oil, which is medium chain triglycerides. Get coconuts, but buy the oil. Okay. The thing is, the amount of oil you have to take to get rid of those headaches and migraines, it's like borderline you're gonna shit yourself. So you got to be careful. If you take too much, you're gonna end up getting diarrhea because it's a lot of fat. Your body has to get rid of that fat, but that does help with the headaches. All right. Another thing is it's pretty tedious to measure out ketones to see if you're in ketosis. There's another thing, your breath might stink when you're in ketosis for
really
until you get keto. Yeah, because you're not burning the ketones and it just smells weird. But once you're in ketosis, it should go away. Okay, so the where was I?
Hot breath from
ketosis. So in order to measure it, you can do it by blood. You can take the little blood meters, you can do the breath meter and so on, but you have to measure it. Just because you survived the 21 days did not mean your body's in ketosis. Maybe you ate too much meat and you're out of ketosis. Maybe you sniffed a cookie and you're out of ketosis, right? I mean, things like alcohol, which alcohol is a sugar, right? It's gonna take you to ketosis. Any carb, any grain, fruits, vegetables, you just gotta be careful because that will kick you out of ketosis. People have a misconception of what carbs are. Okay, do you think carbs are just bread and pasta? No, carbs are pretty much anything that's not meat. Fruits are carb, vegetables are carb, grains are carbs, pastas are carbs, breads are carbs, rice is a carb, beans are carbs. So you just got to figure out how much you're eating and actually measure it. If you're going over that allowance, it's probably going to get a ketosis. The good thing is if you're already in ketosis and just say you want to be bad, you want to have like some beers with the boys, for sure you're going to be in ketosis. But some people have success by taking exogenous ketones, like little ketone candies. And for some people, it'll put them back in ketosis once they're either on the verge or already kicked out of ketosis for that day. I've never experimented with that, but I hear that it does work. The amount you got to take, I guess, for very per person. So what is it? So it takes 21 days. It's very strict. It's hard to measure unless you have the correct tools. Also, most people are very uneducated going into ketogenic diet. They think just eating fat and so on, you're in ketosis. No, like again, it takes a full body adaptation to be in ketosis. And again, just because you do the 21 days does not mean you're in ketosis. All right. Again, it's very delicious if you like fatty foods to be in ketosis, but like you're probably gonna miss things like pizza, miss things like chips, rice. Whatever other bullshit people eat, breads, beer, wine. Even though they do make ketogenic pizza, which is disgusting, it's cauliflower. They make ketogenic wines. They make ketogenic candies, snacks, ice cream, shit you can buy online. They're expensive, but they work. Dude. Yeah. Downfalls. For some people, it may not be sustainable. It's significantly.
It sounds sustainable.
No, it is, man. Listen, for a majority of human history, when we were hunter-gatherers, we were on a ketogenic diet.
Oh, well.
Like when we were just eating meat.
Well, we're not hunter-gatherers now. We live a sedentary lifestyle.
But I'm just saying, to your point of sustainability, it is sustainable. Oh. I mean, people alive now, like look at the Inuits. What's the majority of their diet? Blubber.
Well, yeah. That's because they don't have a Walmart near there, so.
Of course, but I'm just saying it is sustainable, and it is a very rich source of energy. What more? If you're diabetic, like low blood sugar type 1, you probably might not be able to do this unless you have some kind of modification towards it. For some athletes, it is not sustainable because your body doesn't adapt properly to not having carbohydrates as a substitute for fuel. But as of right now, as far as the cons, there's not enough information on it, and there's not enough data on it to say like there's anything significantly bad for your body for it, unless you just react bad to it. But it's a good diet. I think the worst thing about it is just it's very fucking hard, and you're probably doing it wrong.
And that's the good thing. Before we wrap it up, I'd love to ask: would you ever consider going on the keto diet?
Yeah, I mean, I did it for 2 months. It's
Oh, you
not that
did?
bad.
Oh, I didn't know
It's
that.
just thinking it's like me. I like to drink a lot, so
Yeah.
it's difficult. But
All
it's
right.
not, bro. Like I was eating
Okay,
avocados, bacon,
okay.
fatty fish, fatty steaks, pork. It's delicious.
Well, question though. I mean, so I know that basically alcohol is sugar, no matter what you try to shake it. But um,
I like
would
when you
something
say-
like scotch or whiskey, which would that be considered like less sugar and be a little easier to drink if you're in a
Yes, but
ketosis?
again, it's maybe like not even a home pour, like a bar pour of scotch,
I like bar.
because alcohol itself, like 1 gram of alcohol is like I think seven calories, but a lot of it is still sugar. Though again, with that, there's not enough studies to see how that sugar. Some people say that those sugars don't even break down in your body; you just expend it without using energy. So I don't know, it's tough. But as of right now, I would
Okay.
recommend it not to do it. I mean, even if you're trying to lose weight in general, you probably should not be drinking. Um, but yeah.
Should have told me that earlier.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, sir. If you want more fitness and nutrition tips, or you like to see some of those sweet UFC posts, follow my man here on his Instagram. That's Darth_Flex, DARTH_FLEXX. We're moving on to our new and temporary segment of The Mandalorian, episode 5, the Gunslinger review. Let's go. Flex, you're up.
All right. So this episode, if people thought the what was the one with the villagers episode? What was that called?
The Sin, the warrior, the
Whatever that one.
Mulan.
If you thought that one was
Did you
slow,
say
this one to
Mulan,
me was
really?
a little bit slower.
Oh, you weren't here last week. Okay, I all right. Sorry about that, Flex. Because I compared the training scene of the villagers to the Mulan scene in it. So, like when they were, doing the sticks, all I heard was "Let's
Da,
get
da,
down to
da,
business,"
da.
and then when they did this, all I heard was
Defeat
"Hooah!" The
the
Hun.
Huns.
So I
Sorry.
swear to God, it reminded me exactly of Mulan when I was watching that. So
Damn it,
sorry, carry on.
Now
Sorry,
I can
Dark
see it.
Flex.
This episode was a little bit slower for me, just because there was a lot of waiting around. Though I do gotta say, it was very nice seeing Tatooine once again.
That was spectacular. I love every minute of that.
And not just Tatooine, but Mos Espa. So
Yes.
that was cool. The lady, the port lady,
Yes.
the port manager.
Yeah.
It was pretty cute seeing her with Baby Yoda.
Right. You don't think that
Or now
her
they're called it's the child. It's not Baby Yoda.
the child.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is
But
called the child.
you don't think that the I guess the landing pad person or the mechanic, you don't think that her humor was kind of off for Star Wars? You don't think it was kind of just a little off?
Like a little reminiscent of the holiday special.
Yeah, a little. It was a little too goofy, too off for Star Wars.
Dude,
I mean, I'm not saying I like the episode. I'm not saying I didn't like the episode, but
Yeah.
she spoke really like her jokes are like a corny comic from, or her comments or her quips from this galaxy, very very close by. It didn't feel like, you know what I'm trying to say. It was like a meta commentary on like what was going on right now.
I think I understand what you're saying, but the reason why I didn't think that is because a lot of her like comedy was common sense. Like, of course you would charge more. Of course he's a child. Like it's something like regardless what galaxy you see, like any sentient being, like at least human, like would kind of have that kind of perception of how you would approach these things.
I guess I just don't know. Maybe it was just the way she phrased it. I don't know. I was just like, that's not Star Wars. I mean, it's funny. It's not Star Wars. What else, Star Wars?
It was pretty like. I thought it's going to be the introduction to Bill Burr's character, but it wasn't. I think the end might be the introduction to Bill Burr, but I did like the episode. It was just a lot of not action, just a lot of traveling, a lot of waiting.
Yeah,
and then you get a couple of pot shots on his Beskar armor, which is pretty cool. I mean, if this lady is one of the top assassins, why the fuck wouldn't she shoot them in the neck? But Otherwise than that, it was pretty...
it's strongly possible that she didn't know that it was Beskar.
Okay, but she took 3 shots. She took 3 shots at him. 3 shots in the armor at him with a high-powered scope.
It's true. I'm surprised that you're not like harping on the intro, this little space battle with what I believe was a modified Naboo ship shooting at the Mandalorians.
Was it a modified Naboo, or was it?
It looked like it. It looked like it had the Naboo turbines or pulsars or whatever it was. It looked like a modified Naboo ship, or at least it had the Naboo starfighter.
It did look Nubian.
And it looked a little Nubian. I was like, what is that? That's kind of odd.
It was cool. I think it was a pretty good like
an opener. For an opener.
Yeah, when it was
a cold opener. It's just bam, we're shooting. We're a space battle. I'm like, yes, this is what I like. So, Garbanzo, pretty good. Chime in there, sir.
I love this episode. Seeing the Mos Eisley Cantina, and then seeing it run by droids, which I got a nice little chuckle out of it.
There's gotta be a story behind that, because there's a reason why they did that. Yes, when I saw a droid there, I said, well, something happened. I've got to know what happened, because from what I understand in lore, that cantina is owned by a Wookiee, and it's staffed by a xenophobic human. So now you have the Wookiee ended up getting it was in the Clone Wars, and he hates droids. Right. Okay. So what happened? Like, there's a story there. I can't wait for the next Star Wars Holiday Special that explains it. What else?
I actually just a little back and forth with seeing the tap droids. I forgot what the hell they're called. The repair droids. It gave me they gave me a reminiscent of the prequels. Put a little smile on my face. Those were actually a nice little throwback. Just kind of reminding people that Tatooine didn't just exist in Episode 4.
Do you remember when the good old days when Disney first bought Star Wars, they distanced themselves heavily from the prequels? Those are the good old days. No, I'm joking, but I'm actually quite surprised that Disney is embracing the prequels like this, or allowing it to be embraced, both in novels as well, where they're referencing
because a lot of the fans right now who are in their 20s, actually grew up on the prequels. They're not original trilogy people.
No.
So, and that's fine. I have no problem like swinging, flying a flag for Jar Jar Binks, man. The man who single-handedly, without knowing it brought down the entire Republic. He is by far one of the most underrated characters, but at the same time, he was crucial to Palpatine's plan. Now, like I said, when the prequels first came out, I was on the fence. I enjoyed them as movies. I wasn't a huge fan of them.
Let me stop you right there. I would love to hear this continue. For our countdown, we actually have a segment that discusses the prequels. Okay,
so I'll fast forward. Sorry, we're going back to the Mandalorian. I apologize. I go on tangents. It's a thing. I actually enjoyed it. The overall battle between the two bounty hunters and the assassin. The man that moment right there was actually really cool. Just watching how it all kind of unfolded, and then that ching 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 at the very end.
Okay, since you jumped at that, do you think it's Boba Fett? Do you think do you think that they're announcing Boba Fett? Because
no, I have no idea. Okay, do I hope it's Boba Fett? Holy shit, yes. And you know why? Because the guy who played Jango Fett is now old enough, to actually play Boba Fett as that age. Brother?
Yes.
Huh? Yes.
Yes.
So, and on top of that as well,
it's Aquaman's father
too. Son of a bitch, I lost train of thought. Okay, so also, oh my god, I forgot. Daniel Logan. I would love to see Daniel Logan apprise his role as maybe as a maybe that Boba Fett actually had a kid, and this is his actual son. So he's playing young Boba the third, or whatever it is, or maybe he's playing another. I would love to see Daniel Logan in this. So I said it's just real. It's just like they could do so many things, and I would really I don't know. I'm excited. I don't know. I'm yeah.
Lex, what do you think? Do you think that's Boba Fett? I mean, they're obviously teasing somebody that we know.
I don't think it's Boba Fett. I think that's going to be Bill Burr's character. So
Bill Burr playing a character that everybody knows that's supposed to be in mystery like that.
I think Bill Burr is another bounty hunter, but Fennec Shand, like the actual assassin. Yes. By the way, hot. I mean, totally.
Oh gosh, yes, she's
amazing.
Do you think
she's Agent May. When I saw her, I was like, yes!
Kick my ass whenever you want.
I was so pissed that.
Do you think she's dead?
Yeah.
Do you think she's dead?
I think she's dead.
So, because I wonder why this dude is standing over her. I wonder if he's just looking at the dead body, or he thinks she's alive, or maybe he's into a little bit of necrophilia. But
I'm going to tell you right now. You think that someone who has survived as long as she has through all these different attempts at being brought in, that she doesn't have some kind of armor? The guy shot her right in the chest.
But she's laying there. She's laying there into the dead of night, not moving at all. You don't think that she knows that? Okay, I just said, but the Mandalorian came by. You think he wouldn't know if she's dead or not? He came back and he's like, "Oh, she's dead. All right, moving on."
He came back and she was still. Did he check her for pulse or anything? No, he didn't. And the fact of the matter is, her body would still be warm and in that area, because maybe the death wasn't that long ago.
Still warm.
I think it is still warm. I don't know. I think she's dead, but I have listened to the theories, and they said that the chinking, that's kind of what they did with Boba Fett. They made Boba Fett's chink kind of like it was with the Westerns. So they're saying for them to use the chinking sound, it's literally to signal that it's Boba Fett that's coming back. That's what they claim. So
and they already confirmed that they are not bringing. This is exactly the way it was said. Boba Fett will not be in season 1.
Oh, there you go. So there you go. That's it right there. That's it. They said Boba Fett will not be in season 1. So they teased it, but they teased. All right.
So again, they all, at the same time, they could be blowing smoke up everyone's ass. And the fact of the matter is, Boba Fett will never show up at all. But you know what? I don't care. It's amazing. The show's great.
I don't know why they wouldn't. The actor's still alive. They still put potential. I don't know why they wouldn't. That'd be a great antagonist for him for season 2. It's him and Boba Fett fighting each other.
Hey, by the way, after this, there is something that after the thing. There's actually one thing I forgot to tell you about that I wanted to talk about.
Okay, I don't know what that means, but
just remind me. I'll remind you. Don't worry.
Okay, cool stuff. So we're gonna rate the episode out of 5 stars. Gentlemen, have at it. Darflex, 5. Garbanzo,
5.
Okay, I'll give it a 4. I mean, I didn't like it as much as I like the other episodes. It was cool, but I call this
top to sin.
It really is, and so I'm saying that
they did too much walking for you.
No, I felt like it was too much fan service. That's what bothered me. They went to Tatooine, fan service. They didn't have to go to Tatooine. It's a big universe. Why they went to Tatooine? You didn't have to go to Tatooine. You didn't have to. You didn't have to show those droids. You didn't have to. What else did I say? You didn't have to go to the cantina. You didn't have to meet that new guy sitting up in the same booth as Han Solo doing exactly the same thing. You know, it was a little too fan servicey for me. I didn't need all of that. You're gonna give me a little bit, that'd have been fine. I want original stuff. I don't want to be reminded. I don't want to, member berries. I remember. I don't want to remember anything. I want.
Remember.
So that's all. It's a great episode. I don't against it, but they did so much, very subtle, fan service. This is the first episode that I would say is pure fan service. It's just pure fan service, and it wasn't necessary. I mean, the show is holding up on its own ever since episode 3.
1.
No, well, 1. But I mean, like when all the Mandalorians came out, that was 3.
Yeah.
That's it. They had me. I don't need anything else. You don't gotta go anywhere else. So it was unnecessary to go to Tatooine. Is what I'll say. You could have chosen anywhere.
But at the same time, I think it was just a nod to show how things have changed. The whole thing is that you cannot understand how things are changing in the universe. Everything has changed.
Besides, well, the only thing that changed there is that they had stormtrooper heads on pikes. Other than that, it was the same Tatooine.
Okay, no. It was completely different.
How
Okay,
so?
you have okay. Besides, there's always going to be sand and things like that. But the fact of the matter is that having the stormtroopers heads on pikes was a huge deal.
Oh, of course. But we know that. We know that's what's going on.
But on top of that, besides that, you also have the fact that you did go to the Mos Eisley Cantina, and it wasn't what it was before, and it makes you think like, wow, what's been going on since then? Does that mean that the Wookiee decided now I can go back to Kashyyyk? We don't know what happened. We don't know why it decided to go that route. We don't know who owns it now. Maybe it's Maz Kanata. I don't know. It could be.
I agree, but you didn't have to go to Tatooine to show the change in the universe. You didn't have to.
It would be an easier translation because the fact of the matter is that we have a precedence.
Right.
That's like the whole thing. It's like me taking a picture after losing 50 pounds, and no one ever seeing how I look like before. Like everyone's gonna be like, okay, well you look great for where you are right now, but they cannot see the difference by showing up how people already knew what it looked like beforehand. That showing the aftermath, it gives precedence. It gives weight to it. It's like, how are you going to know that something has been upgraded or something has been changed if you don't know how the original was?
Okay, I can see to your point.
One last thing I forgot to mention.
Yes, the Last Jedi. I know.
How cool was it seeing him like talking to the sand people?
That was I wasn't expecting that.
Lasina, that kind of even though I know that they're a culture and I know that they're people, it kind of humanized them a bit more, and I don't know how I feel about that right now, because whenever you saw the sand people, you thought the sand people they were savages.
Look at Kenobi, the book. I mean, it was a pretty good description, I think.
Yeah. But I mean, like, but I'm saying strictly from the media that we've seen, when they appeared in the cartoons, when they appeared in the movies, they were just savages. You don't think that they have really anything going on, but just so when you're able to communicate with them, you're just like, okay, well, if you can communicate with them, we can make friggin' peace with them. However, they did explain that the Tusken Raiders believe that this is their planet and everybody else is trespassing. So I understood that. That still makes sense. That makes sense. But at the same time, if I can sit there and to get you to let me pass through your place, then by now they should have been able to figure out how to coexist with the Tusken Raiders if they're that reasonable. I'm just saying. So
I thought about ISIS, but look at that.
Well, ISIS was created by the CIA. So all right, so we're gonna move on to open mic and just Mandalorian on Disney Plus has topped is the top TV show in the world. So The Mandalorian is the most in-demand TV show in the world 3 weeks after its debut, according to Parrot Analytics.
Most pirated too.
That too. The series topped Stranger Things last week as the most in-demand streamed series in the U.S., breaking its 21-week streak at the top. So I mean, it's well deserved. I assume you guys will all agree it was well deserved. So that's all I want to say about that. We're gonna move on to Toys R Us is open for business again, but there's a bizarre catch. So the first new Toys R Us store reopens on November 30th at the Garden State Plaza Mall in Paramus, New Jersey. The 6,000 square foot space is designed for experience play with rooms dedicated to popular toys and brands like Lego, Nerf, Paw Patrol, and LOL Surprise. Never heard of that. Kids can test out toys before buying them, and if they're not available in the store, if they're not available in the store's limited stock, there's several interactive screens scattered throughout the store to make online purchases. So basically, what Toys R Us is going to be now is less a toy store, more an experience. So you can actually go and experience the toys. You can go and they're going to hold events there. They're going to hold, certain play things. I don't know, from what I researched. So it's going to be, you can buy some toys there, but Toys R Us is going to be more an experience, a place, a family fun center to take the kids, that have events, that have special features, that have things for the family. And that's going to be the catch. Toys R Us is coming back, but not as a full toy store. How do you guys feel about that, Garbanzo?
I mean,
By the way, this article comes from Gizmodo.com. Carry on.
As long as it doesn't come to the point where it's strictly an experience where you can go and test out toys, but then you have to order it online. Like they may have I understand they may have a limited amount of stock if people want to buy things and things like that, and then you can order online afterwards. But for the most part, after reading the article, it sounds like they're more like they're not really selling anything.
Not really.
It's literally just like a leasing space where it's more of a marketplace.
Well, they're selling things, but they're selling more online because that's what really killed them is the online retailers, Amazon and
they're
Walmart.
selling it through Target.
So yeah, I'm just saying that
who wants to take a road trip to Paramus, New Jersey, and find out how this place is?
I would freaking love to because I personally think this is a great business model. You know, retail stores are dying. We're getting lazy. We don't. We want this stuff shipped to us. Amazon is killing it with their 1 day, 2 day returns. People only go to the store now for instant gratification. If you need it now, if you can wait a day or two, you'll do it that way. So to say, hey, let's go to Toys R Us because we're gonna go enjoy ourselves. We're gonna go to an event. We're gonna go to test out some toys if you really like them. I like that idea better because when kids. Do you even like this? You're not sure? You go over it. Kind of like for me, back in the day, in what I call the glory days of GameStop and the glory days of Blockbuster. Before I would buy my kids a video game, I would say let's go test it out. Let's go play the game. Let's go to GameStop, play a little bit. You like it, then we buy it. If you don't like it, I'm not gonna waste my money on it. So to take that idea and put it into toys, do you really like this toy? Is it breakable? Is it can you swallow it? Is it fun? Is it worthwhile? Cool. No. All right. Good. Let's order it or let's buy it right there. So I think it's a good business model, especially if they utilize the space for events. Family-friendly events. We're going to Toys R Us for their Lego Spectacular, event that happens every Monday, kind of thing. I think that would be amazing. Jarflex.
Sounds a lot like a whorehouse with the end goal being marriage.
Okay. I don't. What?
Sounds like the military.
Understood. All right. With that being said, we're gonna move on to the rise of Skywalker to introduce first lesbian AT-AT. Now this article comes from BabylonB.com. Flex, this is all you gave me this article. I didn't read it. What are you talking about?
Listen, we have this agenda. We all know what this agenda is, right? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Let's not, pretend that, we're not losing quality art in movies and everything for the sake of gratifying a bunch of other, anomalies in this world. But
Understood.
The Rise of Skywalker to introduce its first lesbian ATT. This comes from BabylonB.com. So, Hollywood, California. During a recent interview with Out and Proud magazine, Rise of Skywalker director J.J. Abrams hinted that the highly anticipated 9th installment of the Star Wars saga would include a more clear LGBTQ representation in the form of a lesbian AT-AT, which is an armored transport all-terrain armored transport.
Yes, all-terrain. No.
Something. Armored troop all-terrain transport, something like that.
All-terrain. Okay.
So Star Wars J.J. Abrams says, Star Wars has always been about representing diversity, Abrams said. Whether it was about giving all the white characters medals at the end of A New Hope or hilariously accurate Jewish and Caribbean stereotypes in The Phantom Menace, it's important that everyone has a character they can relate to.
He's an asshole.
Abrams went on to say that he is thrilled that The Rise of Skywalker will continue the trend of inclusivity by giving audiences a lesbian armored vehicle with they can identify. We're going to get to see this all-terrain armored transport explore her sexuality identity and follow the struggles she goes through being the only gay Imperial Walker in the known galaxy. Abrams further explained that the AT-AT's characters would be limited to conversations with Rey, who speaks fluent Imperial Walker, because of course. We believe that introducing a progressive agenda to the Star Wars film is a great way to subvert expectations, Abrams concluded, and that's always a good thing. At publishing time, the film's production crew was hastily adding an at Walker for every sexual orientation into the film in post.
This is obviously fake news. This is obviously not.
Is it though? Is it?
Is it? That's a question. I mean, might as well.
Find that next.
Oh my god, I have no words.
That is so great. That
was.
Did you see the picture of the ad?
I'm looking at it right now.
Yes,
it's got the rainbow flag and it's got what's her name? What's her name from Rebels? What's her name from Rebels? Sabine's hair.
Sabine.
So that's cool. All right, we're gonna move on to here's an appropriately weird teaser image from Disney's WandaVision. This article comes from news.avclub.com, and the picture is a old school, like, I guess, 50s look for Wanda and for Vision. It was posted on MCU Direct, so it's at MCU_Direct, and it's Paul Bettany with Elizabeth Olsen on WandaVision series. And it looks like they're literally on a set of one of those, like, I Love Lucy black and white episodes. So that's actually interesting. They really are going ham with this. I cannot wait to see what this is about. I'm really excited about this series. I'm very curious as to what they're gonna do. Have you guys seen the picture? What do you think?
I actually love it. It gets me kind of excited to see where they're gonna go with it, man. I'm not gonna lie.
I think Elizabeth Olsen looks so attractive in this photo. I like her smile. She's a great smile.
But I don't get what you're trying to do. I mean, yeah, she's hot, but I don't get what you're trying to do. I guess I'm definitely more excited for this than fucking Black Widow or Wonder Woman, but...
Well, Black Widow looks like a solid movie. Did you see the trailer?
Yes, I fucking saw the trailer.
Okay.
Vibe.
What does that mean? Why do you say it like that?
Like, it's the same reason I won't play Tomb Raider, but I will play, Uncharted. All right, so...
Understood. All right, well...
Fantastic.
Garbanzo, did I get your reaction to the picture? I forget.
Yes. No. I actually love it, and I'm super excited because the thing is, it gives me an idea of basically how they're gonna go with Wanda and her powers. So I'm interested.
She's gonna be in the kitchen. That's
what
it looks like to me.
All right. With that being said, we're moving on to Ghostbusters Afterlife trailer review. Ladies and gentlemen, we watched the trailer. We didn't actually get to record anything for it because time and whatnot, but we're gonna give you a review right now. Darflex, what did you think about the Ghostbusters Afterlife or Ghostbusters 3 trailer?
It didn't feel right. It didn't feel like a Ghostbusters movie. It felt like, I don't know. It felt like a trailer for like It or Annabelle. It just
I think it gave me a strange.
It felt way too serious
vibe. Yes, I agree.
Well, yeah, I mean, not to mention one of the characters in it is from Stranger Things. It was too serious for me. Like, I was expecting, Ghostbusters, not this reimagining.
But you don't think that maybe with the failure of Ghostbusters 2016, with all the jokes that were in the trailer, that's the reason why?
Different. No, that's not why. Because of the female cast, and they absolutely pushed that it was a female cast and made it a point to it's a female cast.
But I think that maybe they decided to go with a different trailer aesthetic only because they want to distance themselves from Ghostbusters 2016 and make it very clear this is not the sequel to Ghostbusters 2016. This is a totally different Ghostbusters. That's the impression that I got.
I can see that, but what's wrong with just making the trailer that's pretty clear is a sequel to the first Ghostbusters we got?
True, but at the same time, remember they did kind of they did try and be sneaky with the audience, because if you looked at the original Ghostbusters 2016 trailer, they started off saying 30 years ago 4 scientists saved the Earth and saved New York. Now they're coming back for more. When in reality, this had absolutely nothing to do with the first 2 movies. So they did that before. They pulled that.
They did it to women.
Before.
Yeah.
So
they did the exact opposite of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Well, okay, explain.
Well, Sonic, they started off with a really weird looking Sonic, realized a mistake, and made him look more like this character online. What they did with the Ghostbusters reboot is they started off talking about how it was going to be a sequel, and then made it a freaking reboot, and completely it's like they did the exact opposite. So everyone was happy with the direction they were going, and they said, okay, so basically if I do anything, the fans are going to like it because, and they ended up screwing the pooch.
Right. So okay, well, what did you think of the trailer?
And honestly, it was just the writing and everything. Anyway, don't get me started on that freaking movie. It was just horrible. I actually liked it. I'm excited for it. Seeing the proton packs, seeing the Ecto one, and with and a nice homage to the animated series with the ejector, with a side seat, with a gunner seat for the Ecto one, which that was never in the movies. That was only in the animated series. So it kind of shows a progression there as well. The fact that this is that the man that is Spengler, is it Spengler?
Egon
the one
Spengler
that passed away. Yeah, he's
Egon.
the one that actually passed away.
Yes,
in real life. So they're playing to that.
Yes, and it's his family that they're focusing on in this trailer.
And I love that. I love that they're creating they're creating dialogue. They're creating, like, this is kind of how everything kind of happened. The connections between the mine and it's actually the devil dog. That just a little touches to give you a hint. Like this is going to be very similar to the original. Like in other words, with content. But we're going to modernize it. We're going to give you some new characters. We're going to give you some new outlooks. Maybe a new group of Ghostbusters being trained by the previous Ghostbusters.
So we're going to Force Awakens this bitch. That's what you're saying. They're going to Force Awakens this.
No, asshole. They're going to create. A called a mentor and mentee scenario.
So Force Awakens. Yeah.
Okay, it could be Force Awakens. It could be. How about this? Force Awakens is also Rocky 3. How about this? It's also Superman, because the mentor was his father through the little crystals. I mean, you can literally say any movie, and you're right. So
negative.
I mean,
I'm referring to the soft reboot. They're doing a soft reboot of Ghostbusters. They're not doing a
soft reboot.
Just like they did a soft. That's what a soft reboot is. It's rebooting the franchise. Hold on, modernizing the franchise, but still acknowledging that what happened in the past was the past. Jurassic World is a soft reboot. The Force Awakens is a soft reboot. That's literally what the term is. It's not rebooting the franchise. It's a soft reboot, meaning you're acknowledging what came before, but you're bringing it, you're modernizing it, and going forward with a whole new group of people, a whole new cast. That's what it is. It's a soft reboot. It's literally what the term is called. So they're Force Awakening this. They're soft rebooting it. I'm not.
The only soft reboot is between your legs, bro. I'm just you're making me angry.
I'm making you angry. Google what soft reboot means. That's what it is. That's
I know, but I just don't like the. I'm sorry, I just don't like the term.
I'm sorry that you don't like reality.
Because the reboot insinuates. I don't know. I think reboot is the wrong word, but if it is what it is, like I said, I'm not. I'm not Webster. I don't own a dictionary, so
soft reboot.
Yeah, I haven't written my own.
However, I thought that the trailer was intriguing. I was intrigued. It was somber, and I didn't expect that. I expected something funny. I did. I was surprised by the restraint from not showing any of the original cast except for some old school video of movie 1. I was so happy when I saw Paul Rudd. I didn't even know he was going to be in the movie.
Hell yeah.
The minute he popped up, I was like, yes, I'm sold. You had me at Paul Rudd. So I'm going to watch this Paul Rudd. I love Paul Rudd. I love everything about Paul Rudd. I love every movie Paul Rudd's been in. I just really recently realized that was Paul Rudd in Clueless. So it's funny about that too. I hated his character in Clueless. I hated him in Clueless. So the fact that it's Paul Rudd, I'm like, oh snap! So yeah, gentlemen, are we gonna watch this movie and are we reviewing this movie?
Absolutely.
Well, absolutely.
That's what I like to hear. So I'm curious, and we'd love to hear what you guys think. So email us geekbros0@yahoo.com. Let us know what you think about the trailer. Do you think this is a reimagining, a soft reboot, not a reboot at all? Let's go from there. We're super excited. We're gonna round out with our last article. It's coming from comicbook.com. Star Wars. John Boyega feels a bit iffy looking back look back on The Last Jedi. So he goes, The Force Awakens, I think, was the beginning of something quite solid. The Last Jedi, if I'm being honest, I'd say that was, I would say, I'd say that was feeling a bit iffy for me. I didn't necessarily agree with a lot of the choices in that, and that's something that I spoke to Mark Hamill a lot about, and we had a conversation about it, and it was hard for all of us because we were separated. So I I don't know why now he's speaking out about how he felt about
Because
it.
they finished filming.
What? Because they finished filming episode 9, and I'm pretty sure there's something in your clause that says don't badmouth the franchise while you're still in the franchise.
Who says he's bad mouthing the franchise? He's still speaking on personal opinion, saying
He's
he's a little
casting
bit
doubt.
iffy about it.
He's
But
casting doubt on the past. Not even J.J. Abrams is allowed to cast doubt in the past. He's not. When he was
he
asked,
has.
no, he didn't. He said very clearly that no, the Last Jedi did derail anything that was planning for. He has not casted doubt. He has not said anything about it. He's actually, most recent interview, he praised the fact that Rian Johnson reminded him that you should take risks, you should take chances. And he was actually downplaying The Force Awakens because he knew he played it safe. And he's like, thank you, Ryan, because Ryan reminded me that as a filmmaker, you need to take risks and chances to create something memorable and long lasting. So no, he did not, and has never, and probably never will, badmouth The Last Jedi. That's my job. So the fact that John Boyega is saying, you know what, kind of agree with Mark. I didn't really, Mark was the only one that was real from the beginning. Mark didn't like it from the beginning. He said it, and he was honest from the beginning until Disney cracked the whip. So I find it interesting that now John Boyega is like, well, let me just say that I agree. The Last Jedi was a little. So I mean, you are a shill for The Last Jedi. So tell me, what do you think about Finn now, saying that it's a bit iffy? He didn't necessarily agree with a lot of the choices.
Even though it's been lost on the cutting room floor twice, either through bad audio or bad connection, I have already recanted and have explained that due to recent events and rewatching it, I just didn't. There's a couple things that I did not. Okay, don't get me wrong. It's not. I have to turn around and say I actually prefer the Phantom Menace over the Last Jedi. But I don't think it's still a Star Wars movie to me, and I'm still gonna end up watching it, and it's still gonna be on the playlist. I'm not gonna skip it. It is what it is. It's canon. Do I think they should have gone a different route? Absolutely. And then recently, and one thing I want to talk about is, since this is actually piggyback on this, I want to talk about the shrew that is Kathleen Kennedy.
Oh. Trigger, them fighting words. Calm down now.
No. Here's the thing, and the whole thing is that I have been one of the utmost try to be as neutral as possible across the board.
Yes, you have been a Star Wars show. I agree.
God, you just I wish you were closer. No. This is actually real quick. There was an article.
I'm laughing because Darflex commented on our chat. He's like, "Here we go, another 2-hour rant."
No, here's the thing. So on November 19th, 2019, Rolling Stones released an interview from Kathleen Kennedy on the rise of the Skywalker and the future of Star Wars, and she actually kind of made like a little jab, and threw some shade towards Kevin Feige and the success of Marvel. And I quote, this is actually a quote from the actual article. Okay. There's no source material. We don't have comic books.
Yep, we actually reported on this last week. If you were here last week, we reported on this last week. But carry on, though. We'd love to hear what you have to say.
Well, the thing is, like I did listen to the episode. And I never got a chance to actually say my piece.
No, I said carry on. I said.
And the fact of the matter is that really kind of annoyed me. I understand the reasoning behind making the extended universe as Legends. They wanted to kind of give a fresh start, give filmmakers and writers to kind of create a new narrative to surprise fans, to give us a little expectations and surprises again. That's great. I get it. I understand it. That's awesome. That's fantastic. But for you to turn around afterwards when your ideas failed miserably, and then turn around and say, "Well, we didn't have any source material," like, bitch, you had source material, but you thought it wasn't good enough for you.
It's not even just that. It's not even just that. It's not even just that. Is that the MCU does not copy the source material. It's inspired by the source material.
Exactly.
So it's the same concept. That she could have easily used the material and be inspired from it, to create better content. Not to say that you have to pull directly from it, because the MCU doesn't do that. MCU they may use the titles, but the Civil War is very different in the comics. The Kree, the Skrulls are very different in the comics. A lot of things. Winter Soldier was very different in the comics. So I mean, I agree with you saying is that she's pulling it out of her ass. I agree.
Well, the whole thing is that she's trying to backtrack. She's trying to turn around and saying, "Oh, it's not my fault. It's not my fault." No, actually, yes, it is your fault. It is your fault for pushing a narrative that really was not necessary, to try to push. Instead of creating good storylines, try to find niches that to satisfy multiple subsets of fans out there. It just wasn't necessary. It's just she spread herself way too thin, and it wasn't necessary. You know what? It is what it is. It's not gonna fucking change a thing. My rant, my view is not gonna change an absolute thing. Most people probably don't even agree with me. So you know what? That's just my 2 cents.
Wow. All right. I totally agree. Darflex, did you want to throw in anything in there before we throw in anything there?
No, it's the same thing we covered last week. I mean, I agree.
I like that answer. It's a good answer. Okay, so we're going to move on to our final topic. This is all Darflex. Being a warrior, the lifestyle and the assumption. If you can pick any military, fiction or real, which one would you like to be in and why? Now, we're not focusing on any politics, just the concept of doing gangster warrior shit and fighting for the brother next to you. There are a few notes to consider before picking what military you'd prefer to be in. For example, officer or enlisted. Each military has an Air Force, Space Force, Marine Corps, Navy, Army, if applicable. MOS, military occupation, Special Forces, Armored Battalion, Grunt, Support, Medic, Sniper, Engineer, Pilot, Priest. Do you prefer a small unit leadership or a command position? And what weapon of choice? So that's your parameters, guys. Contact us. What military, real life, or fiction would you choose? Email us geekbros@yahoo.com. Darflex, round it out for us.
Okay. So really quick, I just want to ask you guys and audience too, what's your assumption of being in the military? Like, not, again, no politics, just like what's your assumption of, being someone in the military? And yeah.
You are, I mean, answering without politics is hard, because when I think of military, I think fighting poor people. That's what I think. So.
Well, not always, but currently, yeah. I mean, yeah, absolutely. But I mean, fighting Germany wasn't fighting poor people.
Right. Well, I mean, currently, like, when I think of the military.
Yeah, but I mean, like, just as a whole. That's why, like, don't put politics in it. Like, just think of it, two militaries fighting each other. Like, what do you think? What's the assumption, like, of the lifestyle?
It's hard. It's disgusting. It's borderline chaotic.
You're thinking only of the combat aspect of it,
right? Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, when you're not in combat, I assume you're training. When you're not training, you're probably sleeping. So it's combat, training, and sleep. That's what I think of, and very little downtime. That's how I look at the military.
Garbanzo?
Only because I've had quite a few friends, and I've known someone who's an accountant in the military, someone who worked who worked as a cook. I knew a guy who got a full ride to some military school for just playing a trombone. So I mean, military is it's its own society. It's an ant farm in someone else's house. It has its own structure. It has people that do all types of jobs and doing all sorts of things. There's not just combat, but there's also support, education, training, and of course there's also crazy ass badasses who they hang out of the base of helicopters just so they can jerk off into someone's cockpit, because why the fuck not?
You'd be surprised, man. But yeah. I mean,
I mean,
honestly, when
dude, this is like I literally can picture that in my head. I could there's someone just like saying, "Hey guys, you want something crazy? Here, let's take the fucking helicopter for a spin." I'm like, while some guys like they're cleaning something down, just to fuck with them. Why
I
not?
like it. I like it. I like where your head is
so
at.
here's what I gotta say. A majority of the military, especially the ones who do the almost everything, are kids, right? Not necessarily by age, but just for the most part
Yeah.
mentality.
I mean, come on.
Uh, um, when you're like in the continental U.S., when you're not deployed, a lot of it is training. But you could, you still get Saturday, Sundays off unless you got field ops, and this is I'm speaking only for combat MOSs. For support and everything else, it's much more laid back. It's a regular 9 to 5 job. But for combat MOSs, like you do your training. If you have field, I mean, you go to the field, stay out there for a week or so. You get the weekends off. A lot of drinking. Goddamn. Like a lot of drinking, a lot of porn, a lot of video games, a lot of stupid shit. Like it's funny when people say, "Oh, thank you for your service." Like, bro, like majority of the shit I did is drive drunk and drink and throw up. The
Also,
training depends what you do is hard. Not so much physically, assuming you're in good physical shape, more mentally. It's because they fuck with you a lot. Um, but you build a very strong brotherhood. And again, the reason why I say politics, when I joined the military, at no point did I mean, yeah, I know 9/11 was bad, allegedly, or whatever, but at no point was like, oh, yeah, I'm doing this because I want to fight for America. No, I thought this was cool. I grew up on with these people who want to go out and, shoot stuff. And when I'm there, I'm there for them, not really for my command, not really for God, country, core, whatever the fuck you want to say. Like, we're out there
ooh,
doing something that we like. People think, oh, send the troops home, this and that, bring them home. A lot of troops don't like people saying that. Like, you want to be
really?
there, one, because you get paid so much more money, and two, for the most part, you like what you're doing. That's why you're there. My opinion, not for politics, whatever, just purely for what we want to do is we should never got out of Iraq. Should never got out of Syria. Should have been there because they want to be there. It's fun. People are drooling to deploy. The ones who actually join to do it. So I don't know where they get this whole send the troops home. I guess if you have a family, I never had a family when I was in, so I can understand that you want to see your kids and shit. But like most of the ones that have families pick support jobs. Um,
That's true.
well, I mean, no, like a lot of them are grunts, because they end up getting some stripper pregnant. But that's neither here nor there.
I agree.
But so yeah, and then when you're deployed, um, there's a lot of downtime, a lot of training, but for the most part, you just sit and wait. You just sit and wait. You can be on the main camp, it could be like on your main base for a very long time, just sitting there watching One Tree Hill, playing basketball, eating Subways. Sometimes you get bombed, and it's not that big of a deal. Or you could be in a foreign operating base, or like a small OP, which is just a tent and a few sandbags, and it just sucks because you're just sitting there, and everybody around you wants to kill you. For the most part, they don't. You're just sitting there playing guitar, jerking off to like pictures and stuff, and it sucks. Obviously, you can't ignore what war is. It is bad socially, right? I mean, it's socially
Mhm.
acceptable that wars are bad because you're killing you, but the ones who are there really, most of them like it. Most of them like it. They don't see it as a bad thing. But that's why they're there. So the people who don't like it don't have to see it, right?
That's
Allegedly,
true.
because for sure, when you're fighting poor people, you're gonna force that shit on the innocent people. There's no way around that. There's gonna be a lot of collateral damage for those who didn't ask for it. But that's just the way the world is. That's just every animal kingdom, from human down to mice. You're not gonna change that. But it's actually a pretty chill life. I can honestly say my life in the military was much easier now as a student, as a law-abiding citizen who has to pay bills and taxes. So much easier in the military. All I did was train, come back home, work out, pound beers, eat Popeye's chicken. I deployed 7 months. Maybe out of those 7 months, 3 months I was in actual, and not continuous, but just out of the 3 months there was actual combat and some kind of operation that required engagement with the enemy force, or whatever you want to call them.
Oh
For
shit.
the most part, it's pretty chill. And believe it or not, it's even more chill if you're like special forces, because your turnaround rate is like only 3 month deployments, depending on what you do. But all right, so So the question for you guys, let me go back to it. So, um, what what military, fictional or real, would you want to be in? Now, when I say officer enlisted, you have the option to be an officer, like a lieutenant, a captain, and not more of a higher command position. Okay, or enlisted, like a private, a corporal, a sergeant, small unit leadership. Okay, then each military has an air force and a space force. Again, we've had a space force since before we were born, so that's nothing new. It's just all the liberals think it's new. Marine Corps, Navy, and Army, if applicable. MOS, you got special forces, you got an armor battalion, grunts. Support is like you were saying, an accountant, a mailman, cook, logistics, supply, stuff like that. Medics, which are your field medics. You have field medics who work in the field, and then you got surgeons who are back on base handling people who come back. Those are normally officers, though, the surgeons, because you have to be a doctor, have to be an actual MD and some kind of surgery background. Snipers,
Yeah, I got you.
Snipers are normally, they're attached to special forces units or regular units, and you have to have good vision for that. Engineers do a lot of cool shit. They do a lot of blowing stuff up and building stuff. Again, pilot, you got to be an officer to be a pilot, so you need a degree to be a pilot and good vision. You could be a priest or a chaplain of any religion, so that's a non-combat role. You don't carry a weapon, you do have a bodyguard. And there's other many forms of jobs in the military. It's just whatever. And then obviously you have your weapons. Okay, so I'm gonna go first. Right, I have two choices. Mine first choice is the Grand Army of the Republic.
Why?
Okay. Because I dig the lore behind it. I dig their actual structure. It's fucking solid if I ever saw any good structure for military. And just the fact that they're clones, everybody, except for Order 66 and a few malfunctioner clones, they're all pretty much like good to go as far as following orders. It's literally brotherhood down to the DNA of it, right? I like their ships. I like their campaigns throughout different planets, not just one desert like I did, but it's a bunch of different planets, seeing a bunch of different stuff, seeing different new races, being immersed in a bunch of different cultures other than my own species and regular culture.
Yeah.
So Grand Army of the Republic, I would not want to be an officer. I would want to be enlisted, right? So a private, a sergeant, and so on. Okay. Preferably like a corporal or sergeant, something more than a private. My military occupation, I would want to be a Republic Commando.
Okay.
Just because it's so badass, the tool they get to work with, and their turnaround points again too. It's a lot, even though. With those kinds of wars, similar to our World War I, World War II, the deployment are actually much longer than current deployments. Not 7 months, it could be anywhere from a year to 2 years. That's kind of what it was like in the Republic. But the thing is, you're always traveling, so it's pretty cool, and you're in this really nice ship, and everything looks nice, not shitty like what we have here in America. Republic Commando, I would. I like their weapons. I like their tactics. I like how they're infiltrators and they just go in, get the job done, get out. Their armor looks significantly cooler than the regular clone troopers. Okay, let's see. Do I prefer small unit leadership or commanding position? So solely, this is another reason why I picked Republic Commando. So I would be, let's say, the sergeant of Delta Squad. I want small unit leadership because I want that camaraderie, and I want that closure of just 4 or 5 guys. Like I know them like the back of my hand. Like I know them like when I look at my palm. That's what I see. The relationship is there. You're able to operate as a unit very successfully because you are a small unit, so there's less room for mistakes, and you understand everybody else. And it's much easier to deal with small unit leadership than it is large unit leadership. In my experience, just because you know how many DUIs you got to deal with in large unit leadership. I'm sure in the Republic, it's not that's not an issue. But again, your team. When you're in a large command position, even though it's not your intention, for the most part, everybody else that you see is just a number because it's just so many. Unrealistically, yeah, you may know a couple, but there isn't that connection. There isn't that camaraderie relationship. My weapon of choice. My weapon of choice. I like the blaster the commanders are equipped with, but specifically what I like them too is the blade that comes out of their fist when they punch. That one's pretty tight.
Yeah.
And then my second option is the UNSC. So that's a United Nations Space Corps.
Yeah.
From Halo. I would want to be for that one. So it's tough because I'm picking it because I want to be a Spartan. But all the Spartans, their rank kind of doesn't matter because they don't have any real command position. Because there's lieutenants and there's captains and there's master chiefs. Master chief is like a sergeant major in any other military. So that's one of the highest in the command. So you'd be large command position regardless. But for them, it kind of doesn't matter. So that one, the rank doesn't really matter because it's just part of the Orion program. So I would pick officer for the pay. I would pick captain. Let's just say captain. And then I would be part of, so my... This one, I mean, it's a kind of, I think it's the Marine Corps for them, the Space Marines. My MOS would be a Spartan 3 to be exact. I don't want to be the 4 or 5 or the 3s, but I mean, or the earlier ones. A Spartan 3. I would want to be again the squad leader for that. So. My weapon of choice would probably be the battle rifle. I really like the armor. I totally dig the super soldier, the genetically modified super soldier, specifically that one because they're all like, even the women are like 7 feet tall, like 250 pounds. And the armor they get to wear, the modified armor, is just super awesome. If you look at it, if you look at the lore, they're better than Captain America. So that's why I like it, and I also like the whole space thing and traveling. The only thing that would worry me is that they're fighting a losing war for the most of the story. I mean, eventually they do win, but it is a losing war. There's a lot of casualties. Chances are I'd probably be killed, but aside from that, I do like the space travel. I do like the organization. It's shittier than the Great American Republic, but it is just cool having such a large military arm throughout space. I also like the enemy they're fighting. Unlike a bunch of droids, I do like the flesh and blood that you get to fight in the Halo universe, and I do like that you get to understand your enemy at some point. And I like the camaraderie, the strength and abilities, and the vehicles that you get to use. Yeah, that's it for me.
All right. Okay. So for me, the military that I would like to be in is Battlestar Galactica's space fleet. I would absolutely like to be enlisted. I'd like to be a Viper pilot. I want to be one of those Viper pilots. I want to be in those. Huh? Why officer?
In every military, only officers are allowed to be pilots because enlisteds are dumb.
Okay, so I like to be an officer, so I can be a Viper pilot. It's a gentleman. It's a space force, part of a caravan of refugees leaving a Holocaust from Cylons destroying the 13 colonies. My occupation, I guess, would be it's not a grunt, but what would it be?
You're a pilot.
Pilot. So I would be a pilot. I prefer probably small unit leadership. I like to have my own group, if anything, and I don't want a command position. I don't want to have to deal with different heads who think they're better than me or smarter than me.
Probably like a lieutenant.
Yeah, I would absolutely do. Lieutenant would be fantastic, and of course, weapon of choice would be the Viper. The Viper Mark II, or is it Mark III? Which one is the sleeker one? Actually, I wouldn't even lie to you. I'd rather have the experimental weapon, the Blackbird. That would be amazing. That's the one and only stealth ship that Battlestar Galactica had, and it looked like shit, but it looked also cool at the same time. So I would like to be I'd like to be the lieutenant who gets to try out the experimental ships, especially the stealth one, the Blackbird. I liked Battlestar Galactica as a series, and it I don't know how realistic it was for military, but at the same time, it was dirty, it was wet, it was hot, it was sticky, and yet the camaraderie between these hopeless pilots who became the rock stars of the fleet, pretty much, and how they became close yet detached, because when people die, they don't come back. It was awesome. I would watch the show and be like, yes, man, I would love to be in that in the slingshot and just shoot me out of the Battlestar Galactica, just start shooting, and it's just you're listening to everybody on the radio saying, come around, come left, we're there. Some of the best battle scenes in that series, they didn't even show the planes fighting. All you heard was their radio communications in the CIC, and I was just like, yes. And it sounded so chaotic but so powerful, and I could see myself, if I survived getting back, and feel like just jacked up when I get back. So if I had a choice, it would be I'd be a lieutenant pilot as part doing the experimental Vipers from Battlestar Galactica. Garbanzo.
Okay, so I personally would love to be able to be part of the it's actually part of the Star Wars extended universe. It's actually the New Republic era. There's actually a group of Jedi Knights who also are pilots, who actually fly a converted Chiss clawcraft. Basically, it's a four-winged TIE, basically, and it reminds me of the Star Wars Bebop. I mean, Cowboy Bebop ships. But it's basically the maneuverability, power, shields, and also it would be amazing. That or be part of the Black Squadron in the extended universe with the stealth X-wings. Jedi or not, I don't care, as long as I get to drive. If I get to fly a stealth X-wing, oh yeah, yum yum. I would be the happiest SOB on the face of the planet. Just it's amazing. That's actually what Luke flew in the extended universe. Him and Jaina Solo. Yeah.
I have a question. I'm assuming it's the same with Battlestar Galactica. I'm not familiar with it, but why did you both pick positions with a possibly extremely high death rate?
Because, to be perfectly honest with you, I can't live on the edge that long, where I'm in a profession where I know I'm gonna die, and it's prolonged. If I'm gonna join the military, I don't expect to survive. I'm being real. In no way, shape, or form do I expect to go into the military and come back alive. If I come back blown off or something like that, I want to be killed. So if I'm going to go into the military, I'm going to go out in a blaze of glory and as soon as possible. Okay, so for instance, Catch-22, okay? You saw how that guy was in Catch-22. Flex, you watched the series, right?
Yes. He
became increasingly more paranoid, increasingly more agitated. I couldn't be like that. I could not get up every morning freaking out because I'm getting into a plane again and not knowing when I'm going to die, trying to get out. So if I'm going to join the military, I'm going to do something that's high profile. That's something that's probably has a high death rate, but at least I'll go out of blaze glory. And if I do survive, I'll be even more proud and jacked up than if I did not, kind of thing. So
see, and what's interesting here is you both also picked two wars that are at a losing end for the most part, if I'm not mistaken, right? I mean, the Black Squadron has it very bad.
No, not Black Squadron.
I'm not sure about us.
In the actual books, the what ends up happening is,
you did say Black Squadron, right?
Well, it was actually the Stealth Squadron. It was Luke's. It was a set of like 4 or 5 X-wings that were completely and totally stealth. they're painted black, and in the night sky you can't see them when they go. So at the era this happens, this is actually when they were fighting Abeloth. So they had very little in referencing to. I think they fought a few rogue Mandalorians, and then. But for the most part, it was actually they were fighting against the Republic itself because Jason had gone and become Darth Kaitis and was basically starting a shift in the Republic. But for the most part, I mean, it wasn't so much a losing war. It was literally just a Jedi versus Sith kind of situation towards the end.
All right. Yeah, it's interesting because both of you picked very specifically, and just from my speculation is to be a number, right? And this is not, I mean, I'm not saying that's what it is, but for example, both of your guys' success is based on numbers of issue like a Poe Dameron and not skill. The reason why I picked Republic Commando is because the success is solely based on skill. Aspiring is solely based on skill.
Well, I don't think so because I think
like if I were to pick Space Marine, it's numbers.
No, I'm pretty sure because I mean the pilots that survived to the end of the series, they had skill. Those were skillful pilots. And if you're going to be given the control of experimental weapons, you got to have some skill. So that's why I said what I said. I don't think I'm I want to be up there with like 50 other people and hope that the law of averages doesn't hit me. That's not what I meant or what I intended, I guess.
Because I mean, so you would be if this was a story, you'd be a main character, because if you run a main character pilot, for the most part, you just get killed.
Yeah, you're gonna be.
Or if I'm going to kill off, or I'm going to be killed off, I'll be killed off like nearing the end of the show, like kind of thing.
So I'm assuming you guys would want to be like a Poe Dameron or like a Wedge Antilles in that squadron, because otherwise, I would assume they would just fucking blast you.
Yeah, the idea behind it is, in my head, is actually like I kind of always pictured the stealth missions, quick in, quick out.
Like I'd be Porkins in his prime, maybe. So exactly. All right, so are we going to wrap this up? Yeah, let's wrap it up.
That was a fun topic.
Audience, it was a fun topic. Audience question, by all means, what military real or fiction would you choose and why? Email us, geekbros@0@yahoo.com, or comment to let us know. This actually was inspired by Darth Flex. I actually like this idea. So if you like these kind of hypothetical questions for us to discuss, to get a little more about us and how we apply the geek culture to our worlds, hypothetically, let us know. We'll absolutely continue to do things like these. So with that being said, thank you for tuning in and keeping the Geek Bros episode 89. Remember, you can check us out on social media. That's at Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. That's Geek Bros with a 0, GEKBR0S. Listen to us every Wednesday night, WeBeGeeksPC.com, or watch us several days later, YouTube.com/Vibrep Studios. Shameless promotion, gentlemen.
Yes. You both, or all of you, can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Darth_Flex. The only one with that name. Very easy to find.
I like it. Garbanzo.
You can actually find me on the Twitter and the Gram at BEANTKE278. That's BeanTeek278, as well as on YouTube. Keep an eye out for that in the near future. I got some cool stuff coming up. And then also a Garbanzo's Corner on Facebook.com.
Okay, all right. And of course, I'm Vibe Rev Studios, VIBEREVSTUDIOS. Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. The website's coming back up, but it's not going to be upgraded yet. I have to save that template and try again later, because I'm not a web designer. Anybody who does want to volunteer or who wants to intern with Vibe Studios to help me create.
Or how about this? Free advertisement?
I'll produce the hell out of something for you. Who can help me build what I'm trying to build is a Geek Bros extension to the website, but I want it to look completely different than the rest of the website. And I've been trying to do it on my own, and it's just not working out. There's no hurry, because I'm still waiting on my artist and I to continue negotiations for the new caricatures for the new web marketing 2020. But anybody interested, by all means, email us, geekbros@yahoo.com. I'd appreciate it. Join the team. It would be great. And yes, I'll put proudly created by you at the bottom of every mass page for the Geek Bros. So thank you for tuning in to Keepin' the Geek Bros. Yes.
No. That's it. I'm good.
Okay, cool. All right, rewind. Thank you for tuning in to Keepin' the Geek Bros. And remember, geeking out still sounds this good.
Keeping up with the Geek Bros.